Parashat Vaera. It's fascinating that God chooses Moses to be the leader of the Jewish people, the great liberator of the Jewish people, because he had the strength of character to leave the palace of Pharaoh, to go out to the Hebrews, and actually to kill the Egyptian taskmaster who was beating to death a Hebrew slave. But Moses continuously argues with God. He calls himself a kvad peh, a stutterer, a stammerer, according to many of the interpretations. He doesn't speak well. He can't lead the Jewish people. Shlach biyad tishlach, send whoever else you may send. And God says to him, I'm the one who gives speech, and I will be with you. But Moses argues with God 3 times. And the question is, how do we understand this? God has such confidence in Moses. Why is Moses such a reluctant leader? And I think the answer lies in a verse towards the beginning of this week's Parshat Vaera, chapter 6, verse 9. After God gives his 5 promises of redemption, and the final promise, and I will bring you to the land which I have sworn to give as a heritage. Verse 9. And Moses spoke so, gave over these promises of redemptions from God, El Bnei Israel, to the children of Israel. V'lo sham'u el Moshe, but they didn't listen to Moses. Mikotze ruach va'avodah kasha, because of impatience and hard work. Now the entire world understands this verse to mean because of the impatience of the Hebrews. The Hebrews couldn't hear, couldn't listen, couldn't understand the possibility of redemption. You know, that really is the greatest tragedy that occurs to a slave. He loses the capacity to dream about freedom. The slave mentality overtakes him. He doesn't think that he's worthy to be free. They just couldn't hear what Moses was saying. They were impatient because of all of the hard work that Pharaoh worked them, and they couldn't accept God's promises of redemption. The Rabbi, Rabbi Levi ben Gershon, Gersonides, Middle Ages, great philosopher, great biblical interpreter, says as follows. V'lo shamu el Moshe, they didn't listen to Moses, mikotze ruach, because Moses was impatient. U'mi'avodah kasha, because Moses had worked so hard and so diligently to establish a relationship with God. Moses was heavy of speech. He spoke about heavy things. He spoke words of Torah, destiny of the Jewish people, the Torah itself. According to Maimonides in the Guide for the Perplexed, the active intellect of Moses actually kissed the active intellect of God. Moses understood completely God's will, insofar as God wanted to communicate that will on earth to Israel. and ultimately to the world. Moses says, to lead a nation, you have to have a lot of patience for the nation. To lead the nation, you have to convince a nation. To lead a nation, you have to be with the people, listen to all of their petty problems and squabbles. You have to be at every bar mitzvah, you have to be at every wedding, you have to be at every shiva. To lead a nation, you have to be a people person. Moses says, I'm a God person. I'm heavy of speech, I'm not good at small talk. I'm not good at asking